I'm delighted to be speaking to all of you at the orientation for this academic session of 2015-2016. It is indeed a privilege to be amongst what I see as my family members. Today we have amidst us our old students, our family members who've been with us for the last 1, 2, 3 years, and in fact they are part of this new initiative which Apeejay Satya University had taken, and that is that we welcome the new family members, all of us together at the orientation program. This is in fact a reflection of the tradition and culture of this country. And when we look at Apeejay Satya University, it has been founded on certain vision, mission and values which go back a long way. The Apeejay Satya Group, as many of you may be aware, was founded more than 40 years ago by our chairman, our founder chairman, Dr. Satya Paul. He began this as a way of giving back to society. He rose from very humble beginnings. His father was in a small business of making buckets, and you can understand how small when I share with you that a lot of time, most of his education was conducted with the help of a lantern. Despite all of that, he went on to do his MA Mathematics. He was gold medalist in combined Punjab. He was a freedom fighter. He took part in the 1942 Quit India movement, also went to jail. He wanted to actually go and teach at a college. He was very passionate about education. He was refused because of his physical challenge by that college. It's an irony of fate that later on he went back to become the chairman of the board of governors of that college. But it did not deter him at that time. He went back to the family business as the eldest, had lost his father at a very early age. He was the eldest of 7 brothers and sisters, and despite all of that, he brought up the businesses to being recognized as one of the known industrial empires, if you will, of the country, apart from being the elder in the family for his brothers and sisters and having them settled. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that this was a man who, despite the innumerous challenges that he faced, did not let anything set him back, because he was determined, he was focused, he believed in what he had set out to do, and he did it. And these are the values that we hope would get transmitted through our educational institutions to our students as well. When he set up the first school and the first college in Jalandhar, his vision was for the school to have a place where the child's potential in all areas was nurtured and given an opportunity to flourish. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, an education which was the best from point of view of global knowledge, information, and yet at the same time remain rooted in Indian culture and human values. There were very few good educational institutions at that time. But when he commenced this journey, over a period of time, we have 13 schools, we have 13 colleges, and of course, then we set up the Apeejay Satya University. The idea has not been to grow in numbers. The idea has been to grow in quality and in contribution to the space of education in this country. Dr. Satya Paul was dreaming about this university for a very long time, because both he and then I also, in my various areas of responsibility, were beginning to feel the need of being able to set up an institution or a university where we were able to have the freedom to have the kind of curriculum which was aligned to industry, which gave students necessary skills, brought into place the latest and best of knowledge from around the world, while at the same time nurturing the student, nurturing the child, nurturing that youth to be able to bring out the full potential of who they are. In this context, one realized that on one side, if I were to speak from my industry hat, we were looking in India for manpower or woman power as well, equally, who would be able to not only bring in necessary knowledge and skills, but had the ability to learn to analyze, to be able to think creatively, to be able to innovate, to be able to work in groups and have a holistic understanding of the workplace, while at the same time being solution oriented. On the other side, I was seeing that you had whole number of students who were passing out, but who were in one sense not having the kind of knowledge and skills which the industry really wanted. So there was a big mismatch, and the whole question was that what should be the kind of education that would allow on one side the needs of the industry to be met, while at the same time being able to meet the individual aspirations of each student. In today's world, the only constant is change, and things are changing very fast in terms of knowledge, in terms of information, in terms of the skills that the industry requires. So when we set up this university, we tried to look at some of the best practices across the world, and this we have taken in from some of the Ivy League universities in terms of the unique academic system that they have from the US, while at the same time customizing it and having it rooted in the Indian expectations and the Indian environment. Now this academic system has therefore translated in a way for our students where they have a curriculum which is constantly being aligned to the industry. We are focusing more and more every year to also add an additional employable skills which are certifiable and immediately usable when the students go out of the university, and also at the same time being, while they are pursuing knowledge within the portals of the university, to gain hands-on experience in different areas and be able to bring out within themselves a solution-oriented approach. In this context, also it's very important to talk about entrepreneurial abilities that need to be honed, and because they are important irrespective of whether you start your own or that you are working at any other workplace, because today's industry is looking for that. It's looking for initiative and it's looking for entrepreneurship. So it is with that vision, that mission, and in total love, if you will, for the university, that this university was conceived and set up 5 years ago. I am very happy to say that before our founder chairman left us, the first students had started coming in. It's been a very challenging journey, because what we are doing in this university, although it's not experimental because it's based on many best practices around the world, is very new to our country, and it has taken us time to be able to evolve to where we go. But what I want to share with you is that for us, this university is not a teaching college that has been set up for just 1 year or 2 years or the next 10 years. The idea is to be able to build an institution that would last for more than 100 years. And when you do that, you want to be sure as you go along that you are moving in the direction where you are building a university that excels in all the areas where education needs to be provided, and excels not only in bringing in external knowledge, but also helping students to be able to grow and develop as good human beings. I want to thank all the parents who have reposed their trust in us today. I want to thank our students who are with us for reposing their trust with us and for bearing with us as we have continued to grow over the last few years, I can assure them that in the next year they are going to find more and more changes and newer direction in many areas of the university's life, which they can very excitedly look forward to. For the incoming students, I want to tell you that you are part of our family. Please use your time in the next 4 years not only to learn within the classroom, but also to participate in as many activities as you can outside of the classroom, to not only focus on the area which you are studying and the degree for which you are working, but also to spend focus and time on the other areas and of knowledge which are available to you as part of the university's academic system, because we believe that for anybody who will to go out and work in the real world, not only should they have knowledge in their narrow domain of learning, but should be able to have a fundamental connect of all domains of learning, because knowledge cannot be divided up into boundaries. And you may find as you pursue other areas of interest that you may want to do a major in another area, you may want to do a minor in another area, and all of those things are possible in this university. I also encourage you to spend as much time as you can and find out in which way is the best way for you to get the maximum time of your 4 years stay in the university. For the undergraduates, of course, it's 2 years for the postgraduates, which will go very quickly, as you may realize. And so reach out to your professors, reach out to the deans, reach out to your mentors. You've all been either already matched with or will soon be matched with your mentors, and find out how do you maximize the time that you have with us here in this university. I could not be with all of you today personally, but I will make time during the course of the year to come and to spend some time with all of you and both hear from you as well as share some of the ideas that we are working with and take your inputs and your insight on those as well. So wishing you all the very best. And I would like to end with the couplet, which was a source of inspiration to our founder chairman and recited often by him when he was in jail during the freedom movement. This couplet has also been the source of inspiration for our motto, which is soaring high. The couplet goes, "तू शाही है, तू शाही है, परवाज है काम तेरा. You are a falcon, soaring high is your nature. तू शाही है, परवाज है काम तेरा, तेरे सामने आसमां और भी हैं, तेरे सामने आसमां और भी हैं. You are a falcon, soaring high is your nature. They are skies yet for you to conquer. They are skies yet for you to conquer." Thank you.